Hello everyone, this is Remnase from 40k Theories, and welcome to the September edition of the Patreon Q&A videos. These questions are asked by supporters on Patreon, and you may find the link to my Patreon in the top right hand corner on the channel, and there will also be a link in the video description. So without further ado, let's get to these questions. Diego Flores asks, do you believe if the Emperor were to ascend to true godhood, would he help humanity once he sees what the Imperium has become, or slowly abandon us to our fate? I personally think that the Emperor would be an extremely cold god, one who will seek to dominate rather than to actively protect, as in maybe the only way he can actually protect humanity from the desires of the Chaos Gods is to simply dominate humanity. Basically saying to the other Chaos Gods, this is mine, you can't have it. Shake bony fist. And sadly, we won't ever know about this, I do not think. I doubt Games Workshop would ever explore that possibility, unless for whatever reason they would make a spin-off novel series seeing what happens, say, in the 51st millennium, which I don't actually see them doing, though I would like to. Nat3.Desperles asks, with the release of the Dark Imperium book, we find out that according to Guilliman, the Emperor has never loved his sons and only saw them as tools or as a means to an end. Do you really think this is the case, or is the Emperor acting like that so not to seem weak? I do think the Emperor was like that. This was actually hinted at strongly in Master of Mankind as well, so it's not a one-off occurrence. And in Gathering Storm Part 3, Rise of the Primarch, when Guilliman talks to the Emperor, he does mention how the Emperor has lost pretty much all of his humanity. But I don't know if in present day, in the 41st millennium, with the Emperor being so cold and callous, is just simply due to the fact that he is in physical and spiritual agony 24/7 as to just hold back the forces of chaos, or if that's just his true nature shining through. But yes, I do believe that the Emperor was a pretty cold bastard. Austin Horner asks, if a Catan somehow managed to be before a Chaos God, could they devour them, and if so, would that effectively kill a Chaos God? Well, firstly, you gotta have the situation of getting a Catan into the warp, because unlike the other deities that exist, such as Gork and Mork, Isha, Calem and Chicane, Catan are not warp-based. They are material creatures, even though they were energy creatures originally. I don't think a Catan would be able to devour a Chaos God, simply due to the fact that the Catan now are shards. They're not whole. And I don't think we know of any Catan that are truly whole. If it was a whole Catan, you could potentially make an argument that it could be able to consume a minor Chaos God, for example, one of the lesser ones such as maybe Nakoho or Hashut, for example, but not the big four. So I find it extremely unlikely. Cayman Astrates asks, with Rabute Guilliman back and other Primarchs to be coming back, let's say they're able to push back the Warp and the Black Crusade. With the Imperium in its current state, would this cause the Primarchs to argue about how to fix the Imperium, resulting in a civil war, as we've seen them fight over much smaller things? I think this largely depends on which Loyalist Primarchs make a return, if any more do. I mean, as we know, we only know of one other Primarch who is confirmed to be alive who's Loyalist, and that's Lionel Johnson. Rogel Dawn is rumoured to be dead, Corvus Corax and Jagatai Khan disappeared, Leman Russ also disappeared, Guilliman's back, Sanguinius is dead, Ferrus Manus is dead, we know that, and who else? There was someone else, wasn't there? Huh. It's gone out of my head. But the point is, going back to the experiences of Unremembered Empire, when Guilliman was forging Imperium Secundus, he was doing it as a contingency plan, and Lionel Johnson shows up with his Dark Angels and basically accuses Guilliman of trying to be the Emperor, And Guilliman's like, no, because you're going to be the Emperor. Lionel Johnson's like, excuse me? You're going to be the Emperor, Lion. I don't want to be the Emperor. Well, you're going to be the Emperor, because if I'm the Emperor, it'll look dodgy as fuck. You got a point there. Oh, look, Sanguinius is here. Sanguinius, you're the Emperor now. Okay. That's essentially what happened. Like I said, it depends purely on who returns. If it's Lionel Johnson, I don't actually see any issue with what Roboute Guilliman's doing, because I think Lionel Johnson's pragmatic enough to realise what Guilliman's doing is a step in the right direction. If it was someone like, say, Leman Russ coming back, you know, someone who's extremely fiercely independent and very resistant to change, like, I ain't doing a character studies, fuck you, Guilliman. If it was someone like that, I think you'd get more of a problem. Okay, Luke Welsh asks, how do you think the Imperium and the different parts of the military would react if one or more of the traitor Primarchs decided to return to the Imperium and become a loyalist? Do you think the Inquisition would ever accept the fact that they have returned to the Emperor's side? This is a tricky one because most of the traitor Primarchs, if not all of them, have become demons, and once you become a demon, you then essentially become the very stuff of chaos. It's going to be extremely difficult to redeem yourselves. That being said, I have got a video in the works in the next couple of weeks which details about Mortarion specifically, given the events of Dark Imperium. So stay tuned for that, that should hopefully answer any questions there. In regards to the Inquisition, no, they'll never fully trust him, because it's the Inquisition. They don't trust anyone. They don't even trust each other. Did Leman... Oh, sorry, excuse me. Wolf of England asks, did Leman Russ ever find out about the deception of Horus in the burning of Prospero? If not, do you think that would have changed Leman Russ's thoughts and opinions on what he did? That's an interesting point. I'm pretty sure he must have found out. This will be something that will be fully explored in Horus Heresy novels, I believe. In regards to Leman Russ actually finding out, I'm pretty sure he did. But at this point in time, since after it happened, Magnus Red joined Horus, albeit reluctantly, it pretty much just make Leman Russ think, oh, see, we knew it, the traitors, he's going to join Horus now. Yeah, definitely a traitor. That's my take on it anyway. Okay, Zero Hits asks, do humans in the Imperium broadcast any sort of sporting events, either planetary or interplanetary, for entertainment purposes? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. It depends on where, on A, the world, B, which system you're in, and C, if there's a war going on at this point in time. Obviously on things such as hive worlds and civilized worlds, I can imagine some kind of sporting events being played. I mean, we know on some hive worlds, like say Thanks World, they have pit fights. On Necromunda you have pit fights, so I can imagine them being broadcast. And a pit fight is basically the 40k equivalent of a boxing match, you know, pro wrestling. So, yeah, it'd be barbaric, but, you know, it's a sport. So, yeah, they would. Fujishawa asks, if the Emperor were to rise from the Golden Throne, do you think he would genuinely disband the Ecclesiarchy, since the common faith of the Imperium has been empowering him psychically and kept the Imperium united for the better part since his absence? The problem is, if the Emperor ever were to rise from his throne, regardless if he disbanded the Ecclesiarchy or not, it would be bound to cause another civil war within the Ecclesiarchy itself. This is due to the fact that some will be like, it's a miracle, the Emperor walks amongst men once more, and others will be like, no, it's a lie, it's a trick of chaos, and it'll just cause a huge fight. In regards to him disbanding the Ecclesiarchy, it depends on how much power he realises has been granted to him by the Imperial Creed. Because the Emperor never wanted to be a god. He actively told people, don't worship me as a god, I am not a god, I am a man. And it'll depend if he's still in denial over his godhood. If he's still in denial over his godhood, then yeah, he would disband the Ecclesiarchy, but if he's become more open to it, then he might keep it in. Possibly even doing something similar to what Roboute Guilliman has done. He's kept the Ecclesiarchy in place, despite him believing the Imperial truth, purely only to maintain the morale of the Imperium. Okay, Shanus asks, do warp rifts have a force of gravity? I remember Craftworld Earthway was said to be slowly being pulled into the Eye of Terror, and a number of Craftworlds couldn't escape it. But Malgan Ra pulls Altansar out of the Eye past the Cadian Gate, and ships can enter and leave it. Are Ulfoy Seers just being dramatic? As far as I'm aware, certain warp tears do have a gravitational field. I'm not an expert on astrophysics, but something the size of the Eye of Terror and the Maelstrom would definitely generate some kind of gravitic field, just simply due to their sheer size. So yeah, I would say that they have forces of gravity. Okay. And that's it for the questions this month. So all the Patreon supporters, leave your question in the comments on the Patreon page. To anyone watching, thank you very much for watching. I hope this answered any questions you may have had yourself. So until next month, this has been Remnants from 40k Theories, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.